What's up, brothers? Got a video request from a subscriber who wants me to talk about when and how to cold approach. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. But I believe I titled the video, Talk to Women Like Normal People. So before we get into the cold approach, that's the part that I want to talk about, because if we've reached a point in world history when guys feel like they need to pay another man to teach them how to do such a basic human task, such a basic human interaction, like talk to a woman, we're in trouble. The world is not doing too good. So the first thing that I want you to understand is all people are equal. Some people are more capable than other people at things. People look different than each other, but all people are equal. There's no reason to put attractive women in a different bracket than anyone else. I guess I was fortunate enough to learn this as a teenager when I was a door greeter at my church. It didn't matter if it was a man, woman, child, whoever it was walking through the door, I had to greet them, say hi, shake their hand, ask them how they were doing. Sometimes it was a beautiful woman. Sometimes it was an old dude. Didn't matter. You treat them all the same and you talk to them all the same. The manosphere turns guys into weird dudes. I think the manosphere is probably more responsible for incels than anything else, than feminism, than dating apps, than all that stuff. The manosphere is just as bad. I've heard guys in the manosphere say things like you should go to the mall and cold approach 50 women. The truth of the matter is, if you go to the mall and your intentions aren't to shop, your intentions are to approach total strangers with hopes of getting in their pants, you're weird and creepy, and you're a loser. And the guy that's charging you to teach you how to do it is an even bigger loser and an even bigger predator. Unfortunately, you're the prey. So, something to think about. I've also heard guys in the manosphere say things like, invite a girl over to your place and tell her you want to fuck. And if she doesn't want to fuck you, call her an Uber, and while the Uber's on the way, start texting another girl to come over and fuck you. They think that's in some way alpha. Like that's the way men are supposed to behave. If you're so desperate for pussy that you don't care whose pussy it is, you'll just take any pussy. So if your girl that you invited over isn't willing to fuck you, you'll replace her with a different pussy. You are by definition a simp. You are desperate. You're so desperate for pussy that it doesn't matter whose pussy it is. That's pathetic. Doesn't get more just weird, unfaithful, disloyal, out of order, degenerate than that. It's the epitome of loser. So don't follow that path either. Something else you need to understand while we're on that topic is women love sex. Sex to women is more important than sex to men. I've had women, just the other day, I had a girl message me and say, hey, my friend just got a divorce. She just got a divorce 2 months ago. And she really needs somebody to come over and have sex with her. Look, I have never needed someone to come over and have sex with me, but this woman needs someone to come over and have sex with her. You know, I've had women say, it's my birthday coming up in a couple of months. Are you going to have sex with me? I've never called a woman and said, my birthday is coming up. Are you going to have sex with me? You know, it's not that important to me. You know, sex is something you can get any day of the week. But to women, it's a lot more special. They like sex more than we do. You know, so if a woman doesn't want to have sex with you, you got to think about why. You know, what is it about you that causes her to not want to have sex with you? If you know she wants to have sex, but she's not doing it with you. You know, think about that one. Anyways, back to the door greeter at the church thing. When I was a door greeter at the church, people would walk in. You know, like I said, men, women, and children. Sometimes you would see somebody walk in. It might be a dude tattooed up from head to toe, living a life of crime and corruption. Sometimes it would be a woman that was a prostitute or a stripper, you know, living a life of corruption and shame. And I would shake their hands and say, welcome in, how you doing? I'd look them in the eye and I would see a look of shame. You know, they were ashamed of their behaviors. And they don't have to tell me why they behave the way they behave, why they do these, why they live such poor lives, you could say, because I already know. It's the same reason why guys come to the manosphere in hopes of getting more women and getting laid more often. It's because they wake up every day on empty. They're missing something. They can't find happiness within themselves, so they go out to the world and try to find it externally, whether it's money, power, you know, whatever it is. They'll go about whatever corrupt and degenerate way they have to go about in order to achieve it. And that's the same reason why guys come to the manosphere, because they can't find happiness within themselves, and they think the only way they're going to find it is by having sex with more women, you know, hooking up with more chicks. Well, listen, bud, if you can't find happiness within yourself, and let me tell you, there's a lot of dating coaches out there bragging about how they've had sex with hundreds or thousands of women. Look, if you got to have sex with hundreds or thousands of women in order to find happiness within yourself, you have a major problem. Maybe even a personality disorder. You know, what do you think? Like, if you've had sex with 500 women and you still have an insatiable thirst for more, how do you cure that? Do you think you're ever going to cure that? Like, you're already at 500. When's it going to cure itself? 600, 700, 1,000? When you get HIV, you know, when is it going to cure itself? It's not going to. You have a problem. Probably a personality disorder. You can't find happiness within yourself. If you want to find that happiness within yourself, you're going to have to stay away from all that crap. You know, get some productive hobbies. Get some positive friends and role models in your life. You know, find a way out of that life. You're just going to dig yourself in a hole. Same thing with all these girls that, you know, they think they're going to find happiness at the club. Going out, shaking their ass, getting drunk all the time, doing drugs, getting fucked by random dudes. Waking up every day feeling like shit, feeling shameful, feeling terrible about how stupid they acted the night before. But then they also wake up every day empty and unhappy. And the only way they can actually feel happy is to go out and do some bullshit, get a little bit of excitement, a temporary excitement, in hopes of actually finding happiness, but they don't find it. They wake up once again the next day on empty, full of shame and guilt once again. And that's the manosphere too. That's what these guys are doing. These guys, they want pussy so bad because they think that's what they're missing. But they go down that route and have this insatiable lust, thirst, that'll never be quenched. So think about that before you start thinking, well, I need a cold approach, I need to sign up for a dating coach's system to get more pussy. Figure out what it is inside of you that makes you so codependent, that makes you believe that you need more pussy in order for you to be happy. Resolve that issue first. And when you get there, that's when you can start cold approaching. So now we'll talk about the cold approaching. All I can do is give you my advice based on what I would do in my own real life situations. So like I said, when I was the door greeter at the church, I would speak to men, women, and children, and I would speak to them all the same. They're all equal to me. So throughout my week, no matter where I am, I could be at a bar having a drink. I could be at the gym. I could be working. I could be at the mall. I could be outdoors somewhere. I could be on vacation on a beach. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm going to approach women that I'm attracted to. I'm going to approach people that I find interesting. I'm going to approach all kinds of people. I'm going to say, hi, how are you? I'm going to start a conversation with them. I'm going to get to know them. I'm genuinely going to be interested in their answers. Even if I ask them how they're doing, I'm genuinely interested in how they're doing. That's the type of conversations that I'm going to start. Now, that's not a cold approach. Even if I approach a beautiful woman I'm really attracted to, and I ask her, say, hi, how are you doing? I'm genuinely interested in how she's doing. I start a conversation with her. Maybe I even give her my phone number. Still not a cold approach. That's me being a people's person. But I will say one thing. If you want to be a ladies' man, you first are going to have to become a people person. You can't just be the weirdo that is antisocial but walks up and talks to hot girls. You're going to look like a predator, like a creep. Nobody's going to want to be around you. You got to be a people person in general. But like I said, that's not a cold approach. I'll give you an example of a cold approach. So during my week, I go to a lot of different places. And there's a couple of places that I stop by at the same time on specific days of the week. And there's one place where, there's a certain female that I'll see the same time of the week, same day of the week. And she memorized what time I get there and what day I get there. And she strategically makes sure to walk past me as I'm walking in with a womanly strut, making sure that she grabs my attention, that I know that she's there. And then she'll pretend like she has to turn around to grab something or pick something up. And when she turns around, she'll smile and wave at me. And this girl is, she's pretty. She's very attractive. She doesn't have to wear a slutty, tight outfit for me to know what's underneath. She doesn't have to put on a bunch of makeup or whatever, look super well put together for me to know that she's attractive. But she goes out of her way to get my attention every time. That's what you call a choosing signal. Okay? So the difference between a cold approach and a just a basic walking up and talking to somebody is a cold approach has intent. My intent is to let her know that I'm formally approaching her because I'm interested in her. And when a woman gives you choosing signals, she's earning that approach. She is going hard to get that approach. She wants that approach. And I believe that, women traditionally aren't the ones that are going to approach men. They're waiting for you to approach them, right? They want you to take initiative, you to be the man, and you to approach her. So when a woman gives you choosing signals, she's going hard to get your approach. She is putting effort into getting your attention. She's doing her part to get your approach. And you should reward her with the approach. This is a situation where you do want to make her blush. You do want her friends to see that you are formally approaching her. You're shooting your shot. You could even say you're putting her on a pedestal because she's earned that. And in this situation, it doesn't really matter what you say. What matters is the flow of the conversation, letting it happen naturally. You don't want it to be awkward. You want it to be a smooth and fun encounter. You want to make sure that she's smiling. You don't really always have to say much. The biggest part is looking at her like you want her. Look at her like you think she's beautiful. And talk to her in like a smooth, calm, I would even say gentleman type of way. You don't have to go overboard. All these manosphere guys that are like doing these crazy street approaches in Miami, and they're just acting like wild and crazy and shit. Like, that's cool when you're on vacation and everybody's drunk and you're just doing it on camera to get an exciting reaction. But in real life, you want it to be personal, right? You're not entertaining her. You're connecting with her. So, I'll leave the rest up to you, but that's when and how I would cold approach. All right, guys. I'm pretty close to being home, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and shut this one off, but hope this video was somewhat informative. I got to bounce.
To the window, to the wall, until the sweat drops down my balls, until all you bitches crawl. Oh, skeet, skeet, goddamn.